What's up? It's 1 Minute Monday, and I'm going to give you 4 tips on how to improve your social media content calendars. What's up, friends? You're watching Fancy Pants Media, the show that is all about taking your content to the next level, whether that's media, marketing, visuals, whatever. I'm here to help you. Today, we are talking about 4 tips on how to crush it on your weekly social media content calendars. Tip number 1 is to theme your weeks. I know this sounds really simple, but once you can have a theme for the week, it's so much easier to create the content around it. If you're a real estate agent, think about it in neighborhoods. Like this week, this neighborhood is the neighborhood that I'm going to be listing. There is all these ideas that you can put around one centralized idea. So for the week, if you theme that out, your content is just going to smash. I said joist. Tip number 2 for you is to plan out your visuals ahead of time. A lot of people like to create their visuals the day of. I think it's important to at least have something written down. This is the visual identity that I want this post to have, or this is the content that I need with inside of this post, which is something you should already be doing. But linking back to that theme, and then that theme can influence what the visuals are going to be, whether it's photo, whether it's video, whether it's a graphic that has been created. That is something that you need to think about. Having that weekly theme is just going to feed what your visuals are going to be through the day to day. Tip number 3 is a question, and this question goes like this: is your content relevant to the context of your platform? It's a lot to take in, a lot to think about. But if you're doing like visually typographical, graphics heavy stuff on Instagram, it probably won't fit. Something that's going to perform a lot better is going to be photos, and photos that are really well done, that are post-processed very, very well using apps like Snapseed, or just really looking into like that Lightroom feel, just making the colors really pop. If you're just posting text to Instagram, it's not going to work that well. You have to think about the context of the platform. Same thing with YouTube. If you're creating a lot of content for YouTube, it's probably not a good idea to do photos with music and then that's like just a slideshow. You want to add value, but you also have to think about the context. Where is it going and how does it work on the platform? One more thing about context. I feel a lot of people don't think about like context like school. You want to think about it like clicks. Like you have to think about it like the photographers are hanging out on Instagram, and how do I just be more like those photographers? Or how do I be more like the soccer moms that are on Facebook? Or how do I be more like the Malcolm Gladwells that are podcasting? You have to think in those kind of terms and not necessarily follow the trends, but follow the trends enough to where you're accepted. But 2, you have to break the rules enough to be noticed. I hope that helps. Tip number 4 is stop thinking in hashtags, start thinking in collabs. And the reason I say that is because you're probably gonna get more bang for your buck when you can partner with another creator, another brand, somebody else, and create content that is complementary. Now, this is the idea that social media, it's not competitive. To an extent it is, but for this example, just go with me. We're not trying to be competitive, and we're not trying to like outgrow somebody else's followers. That's just nonsensical. The internet is such a large place that you should be thinking about collaboration. That love the brands, or think about the brands that you love and then just partner with them, or think about the creators that are creating amazing content and partner with them. And what you do is you just create the content that fits into that weekly schedule that you've already created. You already know what posts you're going to be doing. You've already thought about the context, and now you start to collab. You start to create that content, and then if it's for maybe like one of your favorite companies, tag them in that post, or hit them up on a DM and say, hey, I'm about to release this fire post that I think you'll really like. What are some things that you would like me to say about your brand? Or maybe connect with another creator and ask them, hey, I really like what you're doing. These are some of my skills. How can we create stuff together? When you create an environment of creativity on your pages and on your brands, what's going to happen is people are going to lean in, and they're going to realize that you're the type of person who they can work with. And if you're that type of person who they can work with, you're going to land more brand deals, you're going to get more views, you're going to have more collaborations, and you're going to continue to grow. So those are my 4 tips for maintaining a top-notch weekly social media content calendar. If you have any questions for me, you can hit me up at Nico Valle It's at Nick_Avaya on any of these social platforms. And until we chat again, I hope you tell the world a great story. Peace. Quick story for you. I was a manager for a platform for Facebook. It was about 250,000 people. And within like 2.5 years, we grew it to over 850,000 followers with an impression rate of like 1.4 million weekly, which was crazy. But one thing I didn't realize is that we spent a lot of money on that platform. And when I transitioned out and we gave it to somebody else, they didn't realize the value of what that platform actually gave them. So they scrapped it. And so that platform that had like tons of money put into it was performing like a Maserati or a Ferrari. It was performing like a performance car, and what I realized is that the driver is just as important as the car. So you can have an amazing brand, but if the driver is not good at driving that brand, it doesn't matter. Same thing with drivers and platforms. If you get a great driver on a cheap platform, it's going to grow. So I hope that like helps you kind of see social media pages, not necessarily like, oh, it's just like digital trends, but they're transportation devices that get your message across. I hope that helps.